Zidane Daney, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are, of course, talking about the latest chapter of My Hero Academia, chapter 301. Now, obviously, one of the things that I thought was going to be happening in this chapter didn't actually happen. And if you guys don't know what that is, it was, of course, the fact that uh, Endeavor was going to make his speech. But in actuality, these two episodes, these two chapters, first this one and then probably the second one, are mostly going to be talking about Endeavor and his family, rather than that of Endeavor actually going and making his speech. Now we all know that the speech is coming; it's coming soon, but at the same time, I'm not sure exactly how things are going to work out. It's all complicated, and I don't want to get into all of that right now. But yeah, Endeavor is getting ready, and that is the important thing. And sorry, sorry if you heard the weird sounds just there. But anyways, guys, oh boy, let's actually talk about this chapter. So first off, there is a few things. Firstly, all of the his entire family is there except for obviously Toya, and we actually get to find out a lot more about the history of the Todoroki family, and more specifically, Toya. The fact is that we've seen multiple different versions of this past, and honestly, I feel like this is the true version. The fact is that Toya sees things only from his own perspective, and it's gonna happen a lot. And his hatred for his father is honestly really odd. It's extremely weird, especially after all that we see. Something honestly just kind of clicked with me pretty early on. When we first saw Endeavor looking at his children and the smile on his face, he's not smiling because finally my kids will be able to overtake All Might. It's the smile of a father. He loves his children. Yes, absolutely, we know that Endeavor's first reason for why he wanted to marry his wife was because of the fact that he wanted to create the perfect child for with his quirks, with his quirk and Ray's quirks. I keep forgetting what her name is. I'm so sorry, but the fact is that he wanted to take those two quirks, the fire and ice, and make the perfect child. And yeah, it was not how things turned out. It was really not how things turned out. Basically, Endeavor could not actually handle taking care of his family as well as he really should have. Instead, he made some mistakes, and that's just the fact. He saw that Toya was powerful. He had great fire powers. He was stronger than Endeavor ever was, which honestly, I think I know a little bit more of the reason why that was, just saying. But the fact is that Toya was stronger. He absolutely was. But because of the fact that his body had inherited his mom's protection against ice, it wasn't necessarily the right option. Instead, he would burn himself just by using his quirk even a little bit. It's one of the big reasons why we see that, for the most part, Toya only activates his fire from those burn patches because he can't hurt himself any more than what he already has. And it's honestly a bit insane to say the least. But Toya Toya grew impatient Well, he knew obviously his father wanted to create the perfect superhero, the perfect hero, better than he ever was. And Toya wanted that dream as well. So he kept working, trying to become the greatest hero. But his father kept telling him, no, you have to stop. If you keep using your quirk like this, you are going to kill yourself. He was he was being honest with him multiple times, telling him over and over again, please stop. I don't want you to become a hero. Look, you have other options. I don't want you to kill yourself because you are my son. He is doing this for his son. Yes, absolutely, he still has that priority of having the perfect son, but his first and top priority will and was always his children. That is a clear fact. There's no debate over this. In this chapter makes that clear. His first priority is to protect his children. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Instead, we got chaos. Shoto was so young that he didn't completely understand what was going on. But now, from these things, we actually understand more than even Shoto does. To understand that his father had lost his first son. This isn't a... The fact is that when you lose someone, especially a child, things are hard. They are really hard, and sometimes it drives a huge wedge between people, especially a mother and a father. If they have multiple children and one of them dies, oftentimes things like this happen, and where it drives a huge wedge between them. They hate each other, and the children get brought into that, usually thinking that one is at fault more than the other, when in actuality, neither one is truly at fault. They are just hurting, and children don't understand this. That is kind of what this chapter was meant to show. Losing a child is absolutely destroys a family. And as such, a lot of what happens later makes complete sense. What did Endeavor do when Toya died? Well, he flung himself into his work. He couldn't and focus more on making sure that Shoto was gonna be the number one hero. He focused primarily on that. He kept striving, he kept working at it, because that is the only thing that made sense to him anymore. He had lost one of them and he didn't want to lose another. So, to keep them, to make sure that that never happened, he drove the wedge deeper, trying to make himself seem like the villain to them. Yes, absolutely. Faye, whatever her actual name is, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting it. She was also struggling. That is clear. Shoto Shoto's burn is honestly only there because of what happened to Toya. And Shoto didn't understand that completely, and he probably still doesn't. It's not just Endeavor that she has a problem with. It's the fact that her first baby, is dead in her eyes. And that destroys a person. Putting her in that hospital was honestly probably the best option at the time, because there was literally nothing else that they could do. She needed time to recover, and the kids were not really completely understanding what was going on. Yes, they were upset about Toya being dead, especially the older two, but they don't understand what exactly was going on. So by Endeavor driving the wedge between him and his family, while also making sure to that his wife is recovering from this terrible incident, he's making sure that one day they can actually have happy lives. Fuyumi and I always forget the other boy's name, but the two of them, you can clearly see that they are living happy lives now, separate from the heroes and the villains. They're just regular people. Fuyumi is a freaking teacher. Yes, absolutely, Shoto is trying to be a hero, but he's not doing it just for his father. He's doing it for himself and to be like other heroes, like All Might. Those are the heroes that inspire him, not his father. And that is the important factor. That is what Endeavor wanted. And yes, he struggled for a long time. We don't know the exact moment of on ages for everyone when Toya died. But the fact is that we do know that more than likely it was around the time that Shoto was a baby. Because we can see him going over the edge in this chapter. He is pissed and he wants to hurt Shoto himself. A lot of these things are going on in all of these people's minds. All of the Todoroki's minds is just cluttered with all of this chaos. And they have to understand that this is pain, and this is pain that can't be simply erased. The reason that they are who they are now is because time healed those wounds. Endeavor had people who were actually able to help him through a lot of this situation. Obviously, he had his sidekicks, but there are two people who changed his life for the better and helped him to overcome all that has been affecting him. Firstly, there is Koichi from the My Hero Academia Vigilantes series. Koichi showed him that not all heroes are people who have a license to be a hero. Some heroes are those who stand up for what's right and fight to protect people even if it means that they could go to jail. Yes, Crawler is a vigilante, and yes, technically he is a villain, but it's because of meeting Koichi that he grew and understood that maybe he should take his job a little less strictly. Yes, he has to take his job seriously, but he doesn't need to be as strict with the rules. As such, he can move on and start to understand that sometimes things happen and sometimes heroes are not going to be the ones who actually handle it. Instead, there's going to be other people who will handle things like this. And people will stand up to fight wrongs all the time. Koichi is a small part of Endeavor's life, but it was something that brought him down from the I will destroy every single villain to I will capture every single villain. Which then the connection back to his family, all of that is thanks to Deku. Through Deku, Todoroki was able to understand that the power that he held was no longer just one power was his mother's, one power was his father's. Instead, they were culminated into his own power to make him stronger than either one of them ever was, and to make him a true hero, to make him fully his own person. With that, the last one of these children had fully separated themselves from their father, but through that, they were actually able to understand that it wasn't completely their father who was responsible for everything. Yes, absolutely, Fuyumi and the brother, which I'm always forgetting what his name is, still held great hatred for their father. But through Deku's involvement, talking to Todoroki, Todoroki was able to go back to their father, back to Endeavor, to actually work with him as an actual team, to work as a hero, to become a sidekick to the hero that he hated more than anyone. And through that, he was able to grow as a person more and more, becoming a true hero. And through that, he actually started to understand more of his father's side of things. And even if he absolutely hated Endeavor, these things shaped him. And then, obviously, there's the stuff that happened in Season 4 and will be happening in possibly Season 5, possibly Season 6, with all of the stuff revolving around the Endeavor Agency arc, as well as, obviously, Endeavor's fight against the Nomu. These fights are extremely important to the entire Todoroki family, because they see that their father is not invincible. He has had pain. He has gone through so much and is improving. That is the important factor to remember about Endeavor. And I know that this episode has been more a discussion of Endeavor than it was actually a discussion about the chapter. But I think these things are honestly really important to help understand what Endeavor has gone through to get to the point where he can finally look back and realize that he can still save Toya, or at least attempt to. It's amazing, and I absolutely love this. I love this chapter because it brings so many thoughts into my mind. Of course, there's still a lot left to go for this series, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how the story continues going forward. Now, of course, I do want to bring up a few things. First off, you probably have noticed that the background image is not the usual UA image. Instead, it is the freaking picture from Horikoshi that is honestly really cool. I actually really love this image of Deku and Uraraka, because it really makes me think that in a few chapters, not exactly certain which ones, but soon we are actually going to see them actually connect and hopefully actually get together, which has been one of those side stories that everyone's just kind of been super excited to see, except for obviously those who have weird ships. But we're not going to get into all of that right now. So obviously expect that to be coming soon as well, which I'm really excited for. And of course, one last thing is that the next season is coming a lot sooner than we thought. It's actually coming next freaking month. And I am so excited to actually just start breaking down this entire season and talking about it. Now, I do want to briefly say that if you have watched Vocal Pineapple's video where he basically talked about what he thinks is going to be in this season, I wanted to say really quick that I think he is wrong to a degree. Basically, absolutely, I think that they are at least going to get through the villain arc. However, I do not believe that they are actually going to be doing anything involving the Endeavor Agency arc. Primarily because, yes, it is a short arc. In fact, all three of these arcs are really short, but because of the fact that that arc actually came to a close in the manga here before the that arc didn't even really start, I guess, until basically now. Basically, that arc is, yes, it's absolutely short, but it's also, for the most part, with My Hero Academia, especially for the manga going into the anime, they usually like to end the anime, or they like to start the anime when the manga is ending for that specific arc. And that's happened multiple times. Last time it was volume 21, which, if you guys haven't read that yet, then yeah, volume 21 was actually like the end for season, was where the end was for season 4. So season 5, honestly, I think that that's only going to get to maybe volume 25. It's complicated, obviously, and we'll get more into it eventually, but yeah, I don't think that they're going to do much with the Endeavor agency arc, because that just has so much connection to the actual arc that I can't see it happening. So yeah. Also, there's the fact that you want to have a Christmas special on Christmas, so yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think that they're going to be shooting for getting the season started in December, maybe in October, or I mean November, sorry. But yeah, don't necessarily expect season 6 to be coming out as quickly as it was. We'll see. Things are complicated, and I don't want to get into all of that right now. But do expect season 5 starting very soon, and we will be talking about each and every episode as they come out. And also, Miraculous is going to be starting up soon, so also stick around for those. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, or if you just haven't subscribed yet, because it really does help us out a lot. And of course, ring that notification bell. Leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. If you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comment, and we will talk about it in a future video. And of course, if you do want to support the channel even more, then I suggest heading down to the description, checking out all of our links down there, including our social medias, and ways that you can support us financially, including our Patreon, and of course our merch store, which I am desperately trying to actually get the few other new designs coming into the merch store very soon, so look forward to those. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on